A lease option. It's a contract where you're able to lease a property for a set period of time with the option to purchase. Hence, it's a lease option at a future date at agreed upon price. Pretty simple, right? I think we understand those terms. Contract for deed is a contract that states that you must make payments until paid in full before the deed is transferred to you. Gary did a great job as far as explaining, like when you buy a car on payments, you do not get the pink slip or title to the car until the final payment has been made. Exactly how this works. And most of your buyers, that's how I explain it to them. When my buyer comes like, what's this contract business? I don't understand. When do I get title? I just say, well, you know when you're buying a car, when you finally get to make that final payment to the bank, they give you the pink slip. That's exactly what happens. They're like, oh, okay. And then I also add this. In other words, I own the or I am the one that has the lien. You're the one that is the registered user. You have the rights of use. You can register this house as far as taxes and insurance go.
Repair it, improve it.
All of that stuff, yes. You can wash it. You can kiss it. Yes. That's right. You can get some dice. That's right. You can get all that stuff. So when I explain it to terms like that they already are accustomed to and they know, they're like, oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, you're the registered owner. I'm the lien holder of this debt. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Subject 2, the property is deeded to you with the understanding that you'll be taking over the existing payments. This is not a loan assumption, but a purchase subject to that existing debt. Now, I get this question a lot, but isn't this illegal? Does anyone know what this document here is? It's a HUD statement. What's a HUD-1 settlement statement?
All your costs and fees of taking out that loan.
Okay, all your costs and fees. What else is a HUD-1 settlement statement?
It's a balance sheet between the seller and the buyer.
Yeah, when you buy a property, this is prepared. What does HUD even stand for? Who prepared? What kind of entity is that? Federal agency. So the federal government makes sure that every transaction that happens through a title company has this HUD statement prepared. Federal government has a line item 203, existing loans taken, subject to. Would the federal government have a line item for something that was illegal in their HUD form? They wouldn't. Answers the question, is this taken property subject to illegal? Absolutely not. Or that line item would not be there.
I bet you 99% of people do not even know that.
I had, funny you should say that, I had a mortgage company for a number of years. I didn't even know that. And I made hundreds and hundreds of mortgages. And not once did I ever go, what's this one here? All I cared about, just like everybody else, is how much am I getting paid? How much is going to the seller? That's all it is. How much do I, or actually it was, how much do I have to bring to the table? How much are they getting? That's it. That's exactly what it was. And so this was pointed out to me. I'm like, holy crap, look at this. So when I bought my first property in Savannah, Georgia, I got my HUD statement, and it said, there's property taken subject to this existing debt. Whoa, lo and behold. What was that? I'm like, ta-da! Okay, so what about this? But what about the due on sale clause? What is this whole thing about? What is due on sale clause? What is that?
There's a sale or transfer of title that the mortgage company has the right to demand the full balance of the loan due.
That's right. We saw this, we heard this happening during the Great Depression. All of a sudden the banks were like, oh crap, there's a run on the money, taking the farm back. They then put in some procedures that says, no, you can't do a due on sale if the loans are current. The only thing you can do is if the loan has transferred ownership, you can call it due, or if they are behind on payments, how many months? 3 months. Notice the default can accelerate the clause, can accelerate this sell clause to take the property back. Excuse me. So, are we cool here? All right. I have a property in South Carolina. This just happens to be a VA loan through this bank, PNC Mortgage. You guys familiar with that bank? It's a large bank. It's not a small bank, it's a large bank. I, all of a sudden, received this letter, and I read it, and I'm like, holy crap, what happened? Like, I seriously, thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to jail. They found out. They found out that I transferred this mortgage from this guy into my name. I'm losing this house. I can't believe it. This guy paid me money. He trusted me. I'm such a fraud. And I threw the letter away. I'm like, I can't deal with this thing. It's too much pressure. I got to just go. Fortunately, I keep all my trash for about 2 weeks before I take it to my shredder. I'm swimming, and someone's like, Ryan, go read that letter. So I go back, I read this letter, and I realize that I had reread it wrong. Or I didn't understand it fully. So I reread it, I'm like, oh, it's not saying what I thought it said. This is what it says. It says, because our mortgage is in your name, talking to the original borrower, you must also be listed on the policy. So this is from the insurance company. Okay? So my insurance company sent them a policy for new insurance. And they came back and said, bam, because you're listed on it, you also have to be listed on the policy. If you have sold this property on a land contract, what's a land contract? Contract for deed. Seller financing. If you've transferred your interest in this property, the insurance agent for the party occupying the property must list you as an additional insured. What did they just say? How to fix it and what else?
It's okay.
It's okay, man.
It's okay, brother. Just give
We
some
don't
money.
care. If you've done this, hey, no big deal. We need this additional insured. Make sure they add you as an additional insured.
And you know, if someone else takes over the management of that for whatever reason, they can come after you because they put in writing that it's okay.
It's right there.
Documented.
Yeah.
Hey, you knew about it, you didn't care. You can't come after me.
That's right.
Letter to you or the original seller, or the original owner?
It's to the original owner whose address from the QWR
Yeah,
is at my house.
because they changed, yeah.
Yep.
Their
So,
name, his
so dear
address.
Mr. Borrower at this address in California, if you've done this, so yeah, it came to him in his name. So what happened here? Because obviously I know I have to have him as an additional insured.
You didn't put him as a beneficiary when you got the new insurance.
I did.
You did?
I did. This is a renewal policy. For whatever reason, when the renewal policy went to the lender, it just he fell off. He was not listed as an additional insured. Slipped right past me, obviously, because I never saw it. It just automatically gets renewed. And that's when this came. Scared the crap out of me.
Did you have to call your agent to find that out?
Oh, I did. I said, hey, Sandra, what's going on? Look, it says, emailed Sandra and has the date. I'm like, Sandra, what's going on here? And she's like, I don't know. Let me look and see. She's like, oh, my gosh, it fell off. Let me fix this. Sends it over. No big deal. Never heard from them again. This was 2 years ago. Yeah, August 2016. I'm like, I'd owned the property for a year at that point. And by the way, this borrower, or this guy who I bought the house from, he paid me $8,600 to take his house from him. Okay.
What?
Yes. So there are cases where you can have the seller pay you money to take the property off their shoulders. So he paid me $8,600, and part of the reason was like, look, man, I don't ever want to see this house again, and I never want to see it go negative. I never want to see, me missing a payment on it or anything like that. Here's some money as my insurance policy. Hey, man, no problem. This was a house also that I was swimming, where I got the revelation. I'm like, I can't let this house go negative. I cannot miss a payment. How am I going to support 30? It was like, oh gosh, like $2,500 a month payments on a house that went from $1,100 to like $2,500. It was crazy. Yeah, so I was like stressing about this because the guy paid me money. But anyway, I digress. Banks are cool with it. Why? Because they want their money. There's another reason why, but we'll talk about it in a minute. Garn St. Germain Act of 1982. The owner, so this is the law that is on the books. The owner of record may transfer their interest in the property from their given name to a trust without triggering the due on sale clause in most mortgage contracts. Hence, a land trust. No trigger. Not going to happen, guys. Why do you think I also have them as beneficiaries? That's right. We're done. One other reason why this would never happen. You can argue, but interest has changed, all of this stuff. Okay, fine. Due on sale. If you want to come after me with a due on sale clause dispute, the only ways you can come after a property and foreclose on are one of two ways. Payments have not been made, or you feel that interest has been transferred in the property and you want to have it be paid off in full. Obviously, payments are being made in full. So the second issue is we take issue with this. You've transferred ownership. We want it. No problem. The burden of proof not is on me that ownership has been transferred. The burden of proof is on you. Show me that you own this document, that you own this property. This property is more than likely been sold on the Wall Street somewhere else. They're just the servicer of the debt. So let's see who actually owns this document, and let's have them request and prove to me that they own that property. I don't even go that far with them.
Mortgage?
The mortgage.
The mortgage.
The mortgage company, yeah.
You said property twice.
Okay, yeah, they own the mortgage. They own the debt. Good luck.
Just misspoke.
Yeah, it's fine, thank you.
So if a property is in a trust and the new owner takes it in that trust and becomes the trustee of that, his tax liability doesn't change either, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Because it's not on,
It's not a transfer. It's in a trust.
that's smart for them.
Yeah,
It's a kind of a Prop 13.
exactly. Continuation. Which is why my county recorder's office is saying, or my assessor's like, we think this is a transfer, and you're subject to supplemental taxes and transfer taxes and all this stuff. Please provide the trust document to prove that you still are. So guess what? They provide them the trust document minus Exhibit B, and it says, oh, beneficiary, okay, they've signed it, it's notarized, new trustee, okay, we're cool. We're good. So, any questions on due on sale? Any questions on the due on sale clause?
Yes.
I have a statement of understanding.
Wait. Go back.
Statement of understanding.
Wait, go back.
Hang on.
Joking.
What is it?
Oh shoot, statement of understanding is not in here.
About the due on sale?
Is this regarding the nuance, does this company was going
Yeah. Basically, you guys have it in your thing. Basically, the statement of understanding to your buyer says, hey, I understand that you're selling me this property, and it could trigger a due on sale clause. I understand I will hold you harmless if the bank ever were to do that. That's all it is. You as the buyer says, okay, fine. I can't get a loan anyway, but sure, I'll take this risk.
Can you go back one second?
Sure, man.
Okay, so giving name to a trust without triggering the due on sale clause in most mortgage contracts. What is most?
Without triggering, keep it separate. The due on sale clause in most mortgage contracts, because not all mortgage sale, contracts have that. What mortgage contract would not have a due on sale clause if interest is transferred?
Oh, judicial.
Nope.
HELOC or second?
Nope.
Unsecured?
VA.
A VA loan. A VA loan can be transferred, can be assumed without it's only one. Yep. So that's why it says most mortgage contracts.
So if it's transferred into a trust, the due on sale clause is rendered invalid in all cases.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
In the case that it's now in the trust, it's now in the land trust, I'm the beneficiary in the land trust. I sell the property. The new owner wants to take it through escrow
Mhm.
and do that whole thing. Is he or she still protected in that case?
They're buying it. That loan's being paid off.
Oh, okay. Well, if it goes through escrow, then that means that it's being paid off.
Yeah, it's being paid off, man. Yeah.
And the mortgage company in that case will write you a check.
For the
Or
remain.
The trust will write the
Yeah,
trust.
no. That mortgage company doesn't know the trust owns it. The mortgage company is going to write a check to whoever the owner of that property is. No, that's not true at all.
They wire escrow.
No, that's not even true. Yeah, the difference. So the mortgage company gets paid off in full. That balance comes through the mortgage through the escrow company to me.
What if it never, to you personally?
To me personally, yeah, because I'm selling it.
The trust?
Or the trust. You're right, to the trust. Yeah, to the trust. Yeah. Yep. But I don't own it. Yeah. But as a power of attorney, I go and to check it. And that's not exactly right. I go and I cash the check. Isn't it nuts?
I tell you,
Yeah. So when you guys get the recordings, rewatch this over and over until you're like, man, I got this down.
Weeks is too long. Can you make it? Fast track the editing.
Yeah, man. All right, so
Do you get the master?
I own the copyright to this, yeah.
Master? Have you ever heard of or used Kanaki?
What's kanaki? So like a sake drink? Oh, okay.
service that has a jewel case. I think it's, the first one's free to test it, and then it's like 17 cents a piece for
It's like nothing. For DVDs, is that what it is? Or
both CD, yeah.
however you want, yeah. I don't know how big this file is going to be, guys. I don't have a clue, man. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so buying hierarchy. This is important for you guys to understand. So you can buy subject to, you can sell at contract for deed or lease option. So this bottom one here, you can buy contract for deed, sell lease option. You can buy lease option on only a signed lease option. So this is the acquisition type going up. It's the least flexible going towards the top, most flexible coming down. So on this side here, it's your acquisition, how you're buying it, how you're acquiring it. This is how you're disposing of it. So let me go ahead and just this one more time so you can see it. So I can sell it subject, so buy subject to, I can sell a contract for deed and lease option all day long. I can buy a contract for deed and sell a lease option all day long. I can get a lease option under contract. All I can do is assign it. How come? You don't own it. You can't sell something you don't own, but you can assign your interest over somebody. Where I made the mistake before, which you still can do, is buy sub 2, sold it on a wrap, which is very similar to a sub 2. I lost control of that particular property. I choose not to do those anymore. I'm straight up just contract for deed. That's it. You don't pay me. I take the house back. So this is kind of like your rule of thumb, your buying criteria. So I always shoot for a subject to. I'm the most flexible. I'm the most protected. I have bought properties contract for deed. It's not the best situation, but it's still is the opportunity for me to get in that opportunity and make some money. So contracts to sell. So obviously there's a contract for deed, which is an installment sales contract, and there's a lease with the option to purchase. So I have a one-page contract that I use. That's on page 66. It's very simple, very efficient, and I use this 99% of the time, wherever I go. And basically it says, this contract's entered by the seller, the buyer, the property address, APN, for the price of X. I acknowledge that I've received Y down. The remaining balance of Z is what is being paid at, how do I choose that number? Whatever that number is, I figure it out. I decide I want to make $300 on top of what is paid. That's what I do. And then I back out what the interest is. As you guys, we did calculations yesterday. And the first monthly payment shall be due. I put the date there. Bam. $100 late fee if it's not paid. Then it says right here on paragraph 2, if the buyer fails to pay any payment due within 30 days, he shall be deemed in default. Upon default, the seller herein can issue a notice of default, and if buyer does not cure that notice of default by paying all sums due within 10 days, the default will become final, and the buyer will lose all rights under his contract of sale, and the seller will retain all monies paid.
40 days, bam.
It's a breach of contract. That's all it is. I love it. Here I have here, buyer to pay monthly property taxes and property insurance at a rate of $1, blah, 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 whatever it is, per month at an annual rate. So whatever the taxes and insurance are, I divide that by 12, and that's where I get. I don't really have to do that because it's already on my escrow. So I know what my escrow payment is already on that monthly statement. So I just put that dollar amount in there.
So when you cancel your property insurance and then apply for new property insurance, is it going to be identical?
No.
So,
Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down.
so you won't know that.
No, but when I'm taking the property over, because I know there's going to be a lag time of 30 to 45 days, I'm going with the existing policy already, or the existing escrow numbers already in place.
And it's pretty freaking close.
Even if it's not, you're going to read the next thing. Seller to notify buyer of any increase to property taxes or insurance changes in writing in the next 30 days. So let's say that it changes. Escrow has to notify me and give me 30 days notice of the increase. I then turn around and notify them of the increase. And so we're good. And I've done this many times with people. I'm like, oh, sorry guys, taxes went up. Here's proof. Go ahead and next payment instead of being, X dollars is going to be this. Y, and they pay it.
Speaking that when, if you have an adjustable rate mortgage, do you send them proof of that if the rate goes up or down and they need to
I do.
adjust their payments?
I do. Yep.
So they know how much you're paying to.
Sometimes, or I'll just take a picture of the rate increase and then the next payment when it's due, and I make sure that the payment, that I the top part of it that has the property address and the loan number, and they're cool with it. The other guys, I give them the whole entire thing. They don't care, man. What are they going to say? I'm not going to pay that. You're making how much money off me? Fine, dude, give me the house back. It's like they don't care, man. They know that I'm making money. I'm helping them out. They're buying a house from me. I used to be scared and like hide it. I'm like, why am I hiding the fact that I'm making money? I provided them with a great deal. If they didn't like it, they wouldn't put the money down. So.
I'm just thinking about your one guy who got a letter after the fact. The guy that you did the rap for.
They didn't get butthurt.
Said you made 15 grand and went to the seller. And like,
Oh, that very, very first deal that I did. That wasn't a rap. That was, yeah. No, he did get butthurt. But hey, you know what? I didn't negotiate the terms. Looking back, what I would have done differently is I would have given him some money because he was hurting financially. My previous mentor was like, nah, man, take as much money as you can. And I've carried that mentality with me for a long, long time. I'm not so much, I'm not opposed to making money, but I'm also not opposed to helping people out that are having a hard time for giving me the opportunity, sharing the wealth kind of thing. So looking back, I probably would have maybe, of the 15, maybe given the guy 5 and kept 10. Don't know, I can't say that, it's hindsight. So, yeah. Upon payment in full, seller shall deliver property free and clear of all liens, encumbrances, buyer take title of the property, subject to real estate taxes not yet due, blah, 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 blah. Basically, it's just saying, hey, I'm gonna give you the title once you satisfy this terms here. Property being sold in as-is condition, buyer acknowledges inspecting and improving all existing condition and is not taking the seller's word for anything or holding him liable for anything not disclosed, whether intentional or not. Pretty all-inclusive right there. Buyer acknowledges that they are responsible for all repairs, upkeep, maintenance to the property. Sign, date, this is notarized, we're done.
That's it.
One page.
One page.
Is there insurance in here? I didn't-
Number 3.
Number 3?
Yep.
Well, property tax.
Oh, you know what? I didn't continue that. So it says, buyer also encouraged to get renter's insurance to cover their personal effects because they don't have title to the property. They can't get a homeowner's policy. There's a way around that. But in the meantime, I said, look, the external, the building, the structure is insured. Your personal effects are not. You get a renter's insurance policy, it's like $5 a month. Just roll with it. Then also, I acknowledge there's either an HOA fee or not, because HOAs, as we know, can foreclose on properties, so they need to know that there is one. Fortunately, I only have one of those properties, and it's in South Carolina.
Question.
Yes.
Number 4. So when the property is paid off, who will JP Morgan Chase send the title of the house to?
So what they file is they file a reconveyance of loan, and then it would come to the,
Trust?
no, it would come to the original property owner.
That you've made sign over power to use?
You have all that information, yep.
And
Yep.
the new address is actually your address.
That's right, yeah, it's on my address.
But the address is
Yep.
yours.
So, but I don't really care about that at all because all I care about is that the reconveyance is on title. So if it's been reconveyed, I can sell it, it's free. Yeah. So I get this notarized and we're good. So I have another one that's a little bit lengthier. So when I'm talking to people, I say, do you want the friends and family contract, or do you want the serious one that has some teeth in it? And believe it or not, I've only had one say, I want the one with teeth in it. All right, no problem, we can do that. So here's the one with teeth in it. It's called the installment sales contract. And I have another one that's in your guys' thing, but basically it's the installment sales contract for deed, from your trust to this one. It's basically the same exact thing, except it has some trust languages in it. But you're from a land trust to the contract for deed, which basically says that even though the trustee is acting as the person signing it, they're not the owners of the property. Someone else behind the scenes is owning, acting, blah, blah, blah.
Where is that?
It's not in this one. It's in your other thing, because I use this one here. Now here's here's something that's serious. Contracts for deed. Who is the seller of this property?
Trust.
The trustee. Another reason why you need to get a power of attorney for your trustee, if the trustee is out of state. Trustee is signing this document. Or you, on behalf of your trustee, the power of attorney. Does this document ever get recorded? No.
Why does the power of attorney be out of state?
Oh, just because
Harder to connect the dots.
if I slipped and cracked my head open on one of your properties, I'm going to sue you, Pierre. And I look up to find out the property is owned by someone out of state. Now I got to go hire an attorney out of state that's licensed in that state. Crap, I don't have money for that. Yep,
And then you compare who you are
that's right.
under these layers.
Yep.
and The only thing you can really do is
Yeah.
maybe after the homeowner's insurance.
If that, though, who owns it?
They can force that.
You can. You can be subpoenaed and stuff like that. You go to court,
And then they gotta
but you got to find an attorney that's going to represent you.
get a judge to order.
They're going to search for assets. I know his name is Pierre Herring. Search him up.
you
Oh,
know, deposition.
crap! I can't find anything that he owns. He owns nothing.
The attorney's not gonna do any work if they're not sure they're getting paid.
That's right.
They go to the trustee and like subpoena the trustee or something like that? Or?
Great questions. Guess what? Trustee's been subpoenaed. We release that person and assign another trustee. That person shows up, Your Honor, I am no longer the trustee of this account. They relinquished me of my duties. I don't know who it is.
Oh my God. They might get contempt of court saying that.
But it's the truth.
I don't know who it is.
They don't. If I didn't tell them who the new trustee is.
The trustee goes to court and says they have been released.
I don't know who the new trustee is, but they know who the beneficiaries are. They would ask for that.
They could, but at that point, then,
If it was you, you gotta guess, who's the beneficiary?
yeah, who's the beneficiary?
Who assigned you?
They may not know. You know, honestly, I don't know who it is. I've been the trustee for this account. I don't know who the beneficiaries are anymore. It could have changed. I don't know.
It's just some LLC.
Who was the previous trustee or who were the previous beneficiary?
Yeah, I mean, it could be an LLC. You know, it's an LLC. I don't know.
But in any case, even if they get his name, or in this case, your name, yeah, then
It's like that dog chasing his damn tail.
Yeah, then how do they get back and actually find that out for a fact?
Yeah.
They're gonna have to go to the new trustee and start the whole process all over again and just.
If they find it,
money,
yeah.
money.
Yeah.
So like Cody said, their attorney's just gonna say, you know what, move on.
I mean, they could just roll over because they're scared. I don't know. It's Ryan Nichols. Who it is.
It depends on how big the claim is that they're after.
Yeah.
what that's all
If it's small claims, less than $10,000,
Probably not.
good luck.
Not a dime.
Not a thing. If it's sheer negligence, like I was cooking meth in the house and then I didn't clean up my mess and this family moved in with this newborn baby and they got this birth defect, or I was building pipe bombs and I forgot one behind and it accidentally blew up and this guy lost his arm. I mean, like extreme examples. I mean, come on, you know, like.
You can have more than just some private attorney coming after you. You can have
I'm gonna ATF after me, man. Yeah.
In any case, even in those extreme cases, they're only gonna find the one trust, right? Because it's
No, and when you have federal agencies coming after you, they have resources, dude. They're going, and you know, if you have federal agencies coming after you, you know that your trustee is rolling over on you. There's no way that they're. I am not going to tell you who that person is.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to protect you, friend or not, man.
So yeah, there was a recent example of landlords having some rotten staircases, and the stairs fell and killed somebody, balcony kind of situation.
Well, shoot.
And if you had this set up in that case, they would probably dig harder because someone died.
Oh, dude, I would pay money out of pocket. If something happened like my family member, I would be funding that. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
In
but
those
again,
cases.
it's
Yeah.
not just going to be a civil suit.
No, you're-
breaking laws.
oh.
The government's going to be continuing to.
Yeah, there's going to be some serious
that
problems.
would never happen for us because the buyer is responsible for repairs if we're selling it to them.
Oh, look at this guy.
There's like no risk.
Unless you do the lease option and the renters.
That's true.
Yep. Cool, man. All right.
So in that case, let's just take it a step further. What if we had multiple trustees? Then wouldn't that sever the chain in many places?
I mean, land trust and the beneficiary another land trust?
For
Yeah.
different properties.
Yeah, several trustees.
Different trustee for each land.
Let's say even a different trustee for each land trust, and then if they find the beneficiary of one land trust, they only have it for that one.
Well, they don't know that. You can have the same land. You can have the same trustee for all your land trusts.
Sure, but then they're all.
How do they know what the other ones
independent
are? They don't. What?
If they subpoena that trustee, then they have access potentially to all those land trusts.
No, not
If
necessarily.
they know
they
same
asked
LLC,
Yeah, as an LLC.
if they were in the same LLC, they could find out that,
Yeah.
by record search,
Right.
that LLC owns all these.
So multiple
That's
LLCs.
So the real issue is not how can I abscond myself from being found. It's okay. Let's just be a cool guy, man. Just don't do stupid stuff in your house.
Insurance policy, maintain your property.
That's right, man. Yeah.
Your frivolous ones is what you're trying to.
Yeah, well, like I said, I got guys right now, and we're going to talk about this when we get into our next module, which is in the back end stuff. I'm not getting sued. They wanted to take me to small claims court for all these frivolous things like a stress-induced seizure. How do you produce that? How can you prove that I caused a stress-induced seizure? What is a stress-induced seizure?
Let me explain
Great
it to you.
So we went to court, and they signed a stipulated judgment that they cannot come after me for anything else because they didn't want to have an eviction on their record. Well, guess what? They're not getting out of the property, so they're going to have an eviction on their record. And they filed a restraining order against me because I was harassing them. What was the harassment? Well, Your Honor, he texted me multiple times within a week period asking when I was going to pay rent. Okay. And you responded, tomorrow, the next day. Did you pay rent? No, I didn't. Well, how's this harassment? So crazy stuff. But here's the crazy thing, guys. In California, if you actually get hit with a restraining order, you lose your Second Amendment rights. You can no longer have a gun. I attorneyed up on this one. I own guns. Yes, I do. I don't. My guns are actually out of state with my trustee somewhere else. but if the suit went through and the judge found me guilty and I had a restraining order put against me, I could not for 5 years. I could not own a gun.
But if you're not found guilty, you
Not found guilty.
claim
Yeah.
crap.
Not only that, they have the right to search and seizure your property. I know someone that happened to. They came into their property and seized all guns.
I thought in order to get, what's it called? What was the term you used again when you say someone's not allowed to come?
Restraining order? Yeah.
I thought in order to get a restraining order, you had to prove in court that there's a risk of violence against you.
We went to court.
But risk of violence.
Yeah, not necessarily. No, the restraining order. It's harassment. It's a whole broad new scope of law right now. It's very, very broad.
Feel afraid.
These guys went and made up crazy stuff. So we're in court. We're in court, and all of a sudden it's like, what was that?
Even just for being annoyed or harassed.
Yes.
Living in fear and
Yep,
everything.
yep.
I feel annoyed or
And so we went there, and all of a sudden it's like, well, he sent people over to my house. Now I know who it was. and they slashed our tires and they put down nail strips, and I'm like, what in the world? I'm like, all this bogus crap. Now, if I wouldn't have lawyered up and if I wouldn't have been there, oh my gosh, I can only imagine what would have happened. My attorney scared me enough to make me want to pay for them to come and represent me, and I'm glad that they did. It was
Is this
horrible.
just California where it's so loose on
Oh,
the restraining
yeah.
order, or?
Honestly, I can't
It's kind of pandemic.
I can't talk about other states. I don't know.
It's getting worse.
Yeah.
And restraining orders have to be, like, enforced in all 50 states without a court issued too, so it's.
So get this. We had so many
you would
restraining
lose
orders.
Second Amendment rights in Nevada?
Theoretically, yes.
50 states.
So get this. When I got there, he's like, I'm sorry, I only have 2.5 hours before my next case, and we have 40 people on the docket. Some of you will not be, most of you will not be heard today. We have mediation available. If you guys can sort these things out through mediation, go ahead and do that. Because if not, this will continue till July 26th is when it was. So everyone's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. So I'm like, well, if it gets continued, my eviction's already going to happen. They're going to be out, whatever, no matter what. But yeah, so there were so many cases that the judge is like, look, go mediate because you're not going to see me today. And if you do see me, I'm probably not going to rule in your favor. That's what he was saying. So there's so many cases that the courts are even being impacted by all of it. That's
So those are all restraining orders.
all specifically for restraining orders.
That's crazy.
Since you had a lawyer, you were pulled up.
Yes, they give favor to lawyers because they're there for billable hours on time. So they're like, okay, you're going to go first. Yep. So, so the contract with teeth. It's this one. It's basically the same exact thing. It just says, hey, this one is just, look, I'm buying it from you. You're buying it from me. We're buying it from this. Legal description, monthly payment, taxes, insurance, all this stuff. Where to make your monthly payments to. Evidence of title. I own the title. Seller's warranties. Basically, I'm not warranting anything with the property. I have the right to mortgage the property if I want to for less than the purchase price because it's my property. I can do what I want with it. I can transfer your buyer interest cannot be sold or transferred. So it's basically saying to them, hey, look, you are stuck with this contract. You can't get out of this contract. If you want to sell the property, you have to satisfy this first. In other words, they have to refinance before they can sell the property. I'm getting paid off first. They can't put any kind of mechanic liens on it. It just basically goes through all the things that you wouldn't want them to do. I have rights to inspect, all the stuff. They can't sublet. They can record if they want to, this document, but why would they do that? It just goes over all this, like it's just basically beefed up to protect me as the seller. And so I tell them, I'm like, look, I give you the friends and family one, or you can have this one. Like I said, the one time, they're like, I want that one.
So this one protects you more, not
It
them.
does, yes, it does.
Why wouldn't you want to use this one all the time?
Because it's very scary. When I'm selling a house, especially when I'm selling a house to a bilingual family who already has trust issues, because I'm a white guy who speaks Spanish, and they're giving me all their family money.
They're already intimidated by the process as it is.
Exactly. You know, they question banks. Most Hispanic families, they keep all their money on the mattress and cash everywhere. They don't trust the banks. They're gonna take their money because in Mexico that's what they do. All of a sudden, the bank closes down. Like, sorry guys, we got enough money today. We're done.
So let's say not bilingual, regular, person speaks English fine.
I keep it easy, man, because this contract does the same thing.
Why do you even offer this one?
I don't. This is for you for educational purposes. Read the last line.
The first one.
Read it out loud. First, it's on
This
both.
contract is for training purposes. Have a qualified real estate attorney in your state create one for you when you close a deal.
You also have last beginning, that's not the beginning too.
It's at the beginning as well. I've used this before. I have this in play in a couple of my properties, but
Why would you use this?
why would I? I don't anymore. I only use this one.
I don't know, why,
But
why might we?
before I found this one, I used this one because you want to make things tough.
What does it protect us against?
Nothing.
Because all our rights are already included in the existing laws and the fact that what's already set up.
If they can't pay, they can't stay. Bottom line. That's all you need to know. If they can't pay, they cannot stay. This one just outlines it in more express terms.
And it's
I got this one, guys, by just sheer fortune and luck and just being a good-looking guy. I happened to call on a Facebook ad, or no, a Craigslist ad for a property that was seller financed. I'm like, hey, let's go do this. I go out to the country where this is at. There was a house out in the country. Some good old boy rolls up in his pickup truck, all beat the hell, gets out, just wearing this holy jeans, and hey, what's going on? How you doing, partner? I'm like, hey, I'm interested in buying this house. Well, let me tell you what we do. My wife and I have been rehabbing houses for over 45 years. We've made so much money that we don't even care what we do with our money anymore. We now have a trust fund that we give the disabled kids, and all of our properties now, there's like 65 of them. I looked them up on title. Dude was loaded. All our properties now, we buy these properties outright with cash, and we sell or finance them to families, and all the money goes into this trust, and we just give it to charities because we want to help babies that are disabled. Holy crap. He goes, I like what you're doing. Let me give you a little bit of advice. He walks through the property, knows that I'm not the buyer. He already read me. Love this guy. Cool as heck. I actually asked him, can I go work for you? Like, can I find you properties and learn from you? He's like, son, I got this thing handled. We're good. Thanks. I appreciate that. But I will help you out here. here's my contract. In fact, here's a stack of my contracts. Learn this stuff. This is all you need to know. This is how you take care of people. Just do things. Just do right by people, and the people will do right by you. This is all you need to know, son. Just use this contract. You'll never be hurt. I'm like, done. So I went home, copied it down, and since that day, I've been using this contract. Dude is loaded. Has all of his properties in a trust. Has this other trust set up. I'm like, if this guy, no dummy, is using this little one-page little contract here, I'm going to follow his example. I'm in his shoes. So that's why I use this contract. And geez, man, this guy, when I pulled him up on county record, kid you not, when you pull up, it's like if you just like pull up like Smith, you're going to see every property owned by Smith in the county. That's this guy. It's like, just keeps going.
Where they attach them, the ones that are attached to that name or something?
It's attached to his name because it's the trust. It's his name trust, and then also the other trust that he has for his disabled children. And I'm like, holy crap, dude. I'm like, it must have been close to like, it was about 50, 60 properties. And these are not like small little like one bedroom. This was a $700,000 home, 8-bedroom, 4-bath house on about 3/4 of an acre. Free and clear. So get this. He goes, now I know I'm advertising this thing for $750,000, but I'll tell you what, son, if you want this for $600, it's yours. I looked it up. I'm like, whoa. He's like, there's money to be made. If you can go find someone that's going to give you $650, $675, I know you can make some money on it. If you want to pay me $600, I'll even carry the contract for you, but I want $350 down. And I'm like, $350,000 down? I can go find a private money lender, give me $350 down, payment on the terms. I'm like, it's a little bit more than I can do. I looked at, so I'm like, $350. I looked at public record. Oh, he bought it for $350. But then he put some money into it and rehabbed this house. In fact, this was an old Sutter property owned by John Sutter himself. It's over by the Hawk Farm on Garden Highway. So he bought this old historical property right on the river, real nice, yeah. So I was like, dude. But so I use this contract, man. Dude he's a cool guy. Like I said, I was so impressed by him that I was like, I'll work for you. What do you want me to do? Can I learn from you? So, yeah. So you can use the complicated contract if you like, but for me and all my properties, we use this simple one. It makes sense.
So this is the only thing you have the guy buying the house from you sign?
That and the disclosure that he knows that the property is due on sale. I keep it as simple as possible. Since I've done that, it's been so easy. Now, also one thing I do is, especially with my Spanish people, I record it so that the entire transaction is recorded.
You tell them that.
Oh, of course they know that. Yeah, and I say this is for your protection. It's going to keep me honest, and so I record it. So I'll tell them, there is a loan under this property. If anything were to happen and that loan got called due, you were going to have to refinance or sell that property in order to satisfy that loan. Okay, that's fine. The chances of this happening are I can't tell you. I've never had it happen to me or anyone that I know. It is a possibility. However, this property is held in trust, which is protected by certain laws, which means that it may not ever be an issue, but I do want to disclose to you as full transparency.
Would you be willing to send us an edited transactional recording video we have?
That's a great question.
If you can edit out stuff.
I got a Spanish one I can send you. Yeah.
You speak Spanish?
And the Spanish one I'll send you is me talking to the sons and daughter in English and then translating to their mom and dad.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Because that's what I want is the English.
Yep. Gary, you writing that down?
So that'd be the buyer one, and then how about the seller side?
I should record those. I don't. I don't record those just because we're always in different places. I've actually sold a house on the hood of my car with the notary signing it. Drove across town to the seller, had them sign on the hood of my car, same notary. I've done that same day, within 45 minutes of each other. I actually had her timestamp the page, the deed. So the deed was timestamped, so I knew that the deed was signed by the seller first, and then the contract for deed, this one was timestamped on her notary page, not on the actual deed itself, but on the notary page. So one was at 5:15, the other one was at 7:20. Yeah.
Because they were same day.
Same day. I want to make sure that, he was first in line, the order of things, did things right here. So I've done that. Okay, lease option. So lease options are, it's basically a lease with an option to purchase is all it is. So I'm not going to go over the lease. It's a standard lease. What's important is page 78, stipulated, or special stipulations. So here it says, Nickel Properties hereby acknowledges receipt of payment of a down payment. So whatever that dollar amount is, which is non-refundable. The property is furnished with the following. If anything isn't furnished, I put it in there. Now I'm going to read these, and they're going to initial them, but I'm going to read them for you. So number 1, tenant is leasing the property with the intention of purchasing the property. It's established. Purchase price is X. The lease agreement is a 1-year lease. Property is being leased and sold as is. Tenants are responsible for all maintenance, upkeep, and repairs. Deposit down payment is non-refundable. They initial that again. All payments must be made by money order, cashier's check, or check. I accept cash as well, but I don't tell them that. If they want to pay cash, I'm totally fine with that. Tenant will pay a monthly fee for taxes and insurance. They know that already. Any amount paid over X dollars per month will be applied towards the down payment. Now, we talked about this. I'm rolling them into a seller finance transaction. If they know what the monthly payment is, but it's not obligated. They're not obligated to make that monthly payment. As far as, they're not obligated to pay above that, but if they do, they accelerate things faster.
Okay, so that amount there is
Is the monthly rent payment or lease payment. Here it goes, number 10. Tenants must have paid X to move in the property. So this is the down payment money that's non-refundable. They can't move in until they've satisfied this. So maybe they've given me, at this point of contract, they've given me half of what is needed to move in. I need the other half before they can move in, and it's in writing. So they may do repairs on the property because maybe it's not livable, and they need to do some kind of repairs. And I shouldn't say not livable because maybe it's not. So livable and habitable are two different things. Let's say there's a lot of trash and debris they want to clean out before they move their family into it. So they say, well, we'll pay you half right now. We'll do all these things to clean it up, and then we'll pay the other half, and we'll move my family in. That happens quite often. Number 11, tenants will begin to occupy the residence on. I give them the date. Number 12, payment of blank are due in the first of every single month. So this is the monthly payment that they are due. Checks are payable to Ryan Nickel or Nickel Properties.
Isn't 9 and 12 the same amounts?
Yes, they are. Yep. Because they need to know what is over that to go towards that, the down payment. Number 14, tenant will need X more to convert to owner financing. So it's there in writing. They know that they need that in order before I will give them a contract for deed.
and that's you're basically like a 10% down.
Yeah, so if it's 10% down and they have 5%, so let's say, on a $100,000 loan, I want $10,000. All they have is $5,000. I've put in here, I've received $5,000. They need another $5,000 to convert to owner financing. Anything paid above their monthly payment will go towards that balance. And I keep track of that on my ledger, which you're going to see here in the next module. Number 15, tenants have been advised to seek credit repair to enhance the process of being able to obtain financing through a bank or a lending institution. My original mentor had that, and I just left it. It looks good on paper that I'm helping them out to get a real bank loan. I honestly never want them to do that. I never want to see them leave because it's a cash cow. It's a golden goose. Our address is blah, blah, blah. They sign it, I sign it, or the trustee signs it with I sign it for the trustee as a power of attorney. That's it. Any questions on the lease option?
So you're not letting them move into the property until they pay, this is number 9 or number 10 is just their down payment? Is that what you're talking about? Number 10?
Yeah. Yeah. They can't move in until I receive my money. Because what happens is they establish residency and I haven't been paid. Now I'm screwed. I got to now evict somebody that's never paid me the money that I'm coming out of pocket now to pay for it. So, yep. So with that, guys, you can get some paydays. These are all paydays that I've had. I've gotten cash, check. We've gotten some more cashes and more checks. I mean, if you look at this, it was a pretty good deal. Pretty good week. April 16th, April 17th, April 20th, all of this year, 15,000, 5,000, 3,000. It's a pretty good week. All possible, guys. This is a super, super lucrative business. You're helping a lot of people. You're making a lot of money in the process. I was telling someone over at lunch that, I feel like sometimes I'm just a glorified social worker. I'm going inside, solving their problems, and getting paid for it. It's great. So let's just jump into now. Any questions, by the way? No? All right, let's keep this momentum rolling. It's 6:11, guys. We doing good?
Yep.
How are we doing in Austin? You're not dying over there? All right. So we're module 7 of 8. These are quicker modules this time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and real quick throw this up there and go use the restroom from all the water I've been drinking. So we're going to take a quick, real quick 5-minute break. So 6:17, we're coming right back.